UFC fighters at the top of their divisions in recent years do not want to fight down. This is a massive problem if they're coming off a loss, or in this case, what this video is about, 3 losses, and they don't want to fight down. It's a massive, massive problem. Now let me tell you this, Dustin Poirier did it against Benoit Saint-Denis to keep his ranking, to keep his spot, to prove to the world, yeah, I still belong at the top of the division. Now, he doesn't have to fight down again because he's defended his spot. He's reminded people this is what happens when a up-and-coming young guy comes up, tries taking my ranking at the top. I'm still here. I'm an old dog, but I've got old tricks, and I'm going to knock Benoit Saint-Denis out cold within the 2 rounds. Justin Gaethje did it against Rafael Fiziev, a massively difficult task, a massively tricky striker to deal with, a young, stocky, short, little compact Muay Thai specialist. Justin Gaethje had a war with him and said, no, I'm tougher than you, I'm stronger than you, I'm much dumber than you, but I still managed to get the job done, even if it was a controversial decision at the time. Now look, I have a massive issue with this. I have had for a long time now. There's a few bits of news I'm covering in today's video. One being obviously Kamaru Usman saying about why he won't fight Ian Garry and how he's squatting on his ranking essentially and how he has been for over a year now. Now look, listen here folks, I am going to tell you this, and Ian Garry has said he's not fighting till June or July because he said he'll still have 3 fights next year, right? Sorry, I'm half on my phone looking at my notes. He said he's going to have 3 fights next year, either June, July, September and December, which is a very active short period. However, he wants to give himself the necessary time to grow, evolve and improve. And he said if he could fight Shavkat again this weekend, he would beat him. And that's how quick he learns. So by the time he gets back in June or July, he's going to be a whole different animal. Now, I believe him. I think he's the new kind of generation who's like Ilia Topuria, Ian Garry, these types of guys are coming up with just a different eye towards things. And obviously as you come up and as you're young and you evolve and you watch the sport evolve at the same time, you think to yourself, what can I implement? However, that's not what I'm here to talk about. Kamaru Usman on his podcast with Henry Cejudo said, look, you and Ian Garry, that's the fight to make. And I agree, that is the fight to make. You know, it gives Ian Garry a shot against a former champion, shows the world, okay, you've proven against Shavkat you can hang with the current best, but can you handle with someone who's got the more experience than Shavkat, who's been there, done that, defended a title? It's the perfect fight to make, if not Leon Edwards. Kamaru Usman, but who are you? Who is he? What has he done? I always resort back to this. If Jiří Procházka did not give Kamaru Usman... No, what am I talking about? If Jiří Procházka didn't give Alex Pereira a shot after beating Jan Blachowicz, imagine Jiří sat back and said, who are you? Like, what have you done in this division? You're not getting a title shot. You're not getting an opportunity. This sport is based around opportunity. If Kamaru Usman was the champion, continuously defending his belt, right, 6-7 times, he is within his rights to say, look, I want the next top contender, Shavkat. I don't want Ian Garry. I don't want anyone to question it. You lost 2 times in a row, one by brutal knockout, one by shutout decision, and then you had a very, very close fight with Khamzat Chimaev on short notice, which kept your credibility, sort of, and your stock intact. However, you then haven't fought in over a year. You're on a 3-fight losing streak. Your last win would have been 2022. Probably, yeah, 2022, 2021. So, at the end of the day, Kamaru, you're squatting on your ranking, and I wish fighters would just come out and say, look, I don't want to fight number 7 in the world, because if I lose to number 7 in the world, then I'm completely out of the mix and on a 4-fight losing streak. Instead, Usman should be saying, I'll fight Ian Garry if it's a title eliminator fight. I'll fight this guy if it's a title eliminator bout. You can't just sit around and wait for these opportunities. And I feel like the UFC will say to Usman, you should be saying to Usman, you can't be squatting on your ranking, because it doesn't work like that. You can't just sit there and wait for an opportunity to pop up. Also, if an opportunity did pop up and he took it, it's completely undeserved. And that's why they offered Ian Garry the fight and not Kamaru Usman, because I mean, the uproar if Usman got offered another title eliminator bout would be incredible. And I think Usman would have beat Shavkat Rakhmonov on the night, because Shavkat would have struck with Usman and Usman would have probably held him against the cage and kind of did a Shavkat Rakhmonov on him. I would have said Usman probably gets it done, because I mean, after watching his performance against Chimaev, Usman's still elite level, but it's been a long time. I personally think Kamaru Usman is not going to win a high-level fight in the UFC again. I feel like he beats Sean Brady. I feel like he has a very good chance against a Bilal Muhammad. I feel like he, however, will pick a fight like a Jack Della Maddalena and Ian Garry potentially next. And a Leon Edwards trilogy could be fun. I think those guys beat him. I think Edwards would beat him again. I think Della Maddalena would box the head off him. I'm not even joking. He's a fun fighter to watch. And I must admit, I think Ian Garry would beat the fucking tar out of Kamaru Usman. Regardless of if I think Usman would have beaten Shavkat, the Shavkat that turned up on UFC 310, I think Ian Garry beats the Usman. It's just all styles, it's all fights, it's all mentalities, it's all things you can look at. But Kamaru Usman sitting saying, who are you, what have you done, is just massively inconvenient. The UFC must be pissed off. I wonder if he's got an injury or something, and instead of saying, yeah, by the way, guys, I've got an injury, I'm making it public knowledge and saying, yeah, he maybe won't be the same when he comes back. He's just trying to say, yeah, who are you, to try and buy himself some more time. And it's rumoured he's going to be fighting Jack Della Maddalena in February, which is a good time for him to come back. I must admit, February would be a good time for Usman to be back in there in a few months' time. Jack Della Maddalena in Sydney is a really tough fight. However, that could be fun for that card. UFC 312 is looking pretty stacked. And I must say, the winner of Della Maddalena versus Usman maybe fights Ian Garry in June or July. And that would be absolutely brilliant. However, we now know Ian Garry will not be fighting Leon Edwards because he said, and now we're going to get into the Ian Garry portion of the video, he said, look, I'm not going to fight in Europe unless I fight in Ireland. And he's demanded that. Him versus Leon main eventing a Dublin card would be the best thing on the planet. Now I think they might try to do that. Because not having Ian Garry fight in London as a headliner would be an issue. And Ariel Helwani said, do you have an issue with London? And Ian Garry looked him in the eyes and he said, Ariel, I've just bought a house in London. He lives in London. He lives in Surrey, which is South London, I believe. So there's a lot of things you can take away from that. The fact he's taking time out to improve, I really like. I wanted to see him back in there being active. However, when he's in camp and you're preparing for someone, yes, you're refining your skills and you're refining what you know. However, you don't learn as much as if you're not covering all bases of the game every single day, learning little tricks, intricate details, sharpening different tools and becoming more dangerous. You just sharpen what already is dangerous when you're in camp. So I'm excited. I can't wait to see Ian Garry back. I think if he comes back and gets a quick finish with a head kick or something, he'll blow up. His Instagram's been blowing up. He's become a fan favourite overnight, which is crazy just to think about. He was the one trying to make the fight exciting, which no one thought he would, and now everyone's kind of realised, oh, he is top level. But anyway, as I was saying, guys, Usman squatting his ranking. I think it should be the winner of Della Maddalena versus Usman fights Ian Garry for the title eliminator bout. And hopefully we can get Ian Garry, Shavkat, Rakhmonov to December 2025. Maybe in a year we'll get them to fight again. However, I do have a feeling that Bilal beats Shavkat. Shavkat will fight maybe the winner of Usman Della Maddalena, and then Ian Garry might fight someone like Joaquin Buckley or Colby Covington. That could be fun. And yeah, that's a cool little breakdown. It's fun to sit and talk about the potential matchups. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of the state of the welterweight division right now? Yeah, not too bad. I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to all the future matchups we can have. And I must admit, the UFC will be going through a little bit of a stalemate over the next month or two. However, I've got loads of videos planned. I've got a few really funny videos, big videos that I'm gonna edit, break down, react to things for you. And yeah, Kamaru Usman sitting to Henry Cejudo saying, "But what have you done? Why should I give you the opportunity?" I hate how Usman talks. I remember when the Dricus du Plessis and Usman thing was going on, and Usman, Henry Cejudo said to him about Dricus and, the white and black people thing, and Kamaru just looked at Cejudo, was like, but why? But why? He's so jarring, and he's just squatting on his ranking. I don't think you get to a certain age, you have 5 title fights, you make a good few million, 3-4 million probably, and you're sat there like, okay, I could get back to that. I still want to compete. There's a competitive edge in me, but I'm scared to fight these younger guys, because if I lose to one of these younger guys who are good, faster, sharper, stronger, have more to win, more to work for and fight for, it does become a massive issue. And I think that's Usman's problem. I don't think he wants to be in there too much anymore, and he only wants to take opportunities that will get him a title shot. So I think, unless the UFC say to him, realistically, if I'm Usman, I'm waiting for the division to play out. I'm waiting for, I'd like Della Maddalena and Ian Garry to fight in April or May. Then maybe July, August time, Usman comes back. Title eliminator bout between Ian Garry and Kamaru Usman. This type of thing makes a lot more sense. Realistically, I think Joaquin Buckley and Colby Covington fight, and I don't believe Ian Garry sits out till June, July. I think he sits down till April or May. April or May, Ian Garry will come back in, main card of a pay-per-view against a Joaquin Buckley or something like that, because they were already scheduled. But if not, he sits out. Joaquin Buckley could be number 3 or number 5 at that point. Winner of that title shot at the end of the year against the loser or the winner of Belal and Shavkat. And there we go. That's all the news broken down that I've got for you. And yeah. Thanks guys for watching. See you later. Subscribe.